featuring Jaguar's rebrand. Today we're going to be talking on business chats with my wonderful friend Beatrice. She is the badass of all badasses, and boy, do I have opinions about this rebrand, very special rebrand. But I'm gonna wait to hear what she has to say because I'm sure this is going to be okay. And I literally got angry. Like this is I'm I'm gonna wait for Beatrice for for this conversation. So I'm trying, sweetie, as per usual, to accept you on freaking Instagram. Instagram sucks. Do you have TikTok, by the way, girl? Maybe if you have unlocked your lives on TikTok, we can go there and go crazy. Um, because yeah, I'm upset. I need to vent. Hi, Greg. Honestly, I've accepted your request to join like a million times, and then I'm sending you one, and it's just welcome to Instagram. That's how it doesn't work. It sucks. Anyway, I'll try to be patient. There, I accepted it again. I wish we could share this screen. I wish we could do it. I don't know if we can do a live on TikTok. There you are.
There I am.
Yay! Hi, how are ya?
I'm good. I can't see you for some reason. It is you're like a black screen.
Well, I can see you. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes that happens to me. Sometimes it happens to other people. It's fine. I can see you. You're perfect. You're on the little box, so it's fine. Hi.
Hey,
How did
hey.
this news
Sorry.
hit you today?
This, oh, it's yeah. No, I'm just like looking at it going, God, did you guys just wake up and decide to burn down your like long built up brand? Like, why?
Thank
What is
you.
this?
I was just saying, like another legacy brand died today. Why in God's name would you do this to your brand? I mean,
Mm. Oh, it's just brand
I'm gonna
suicide. Like
cry.
it's like Bud Light, right? It's Bud Light 2.0.
Yes,
Oh,
exactly. Exactly. That's exactly right. It's the
it's
same kind of vibe, scandal, craziness. I know. Okay, well let's unpack it because I have a lot of thoughts and emotions about this. So, I don't even know where to begin. Like, I know who the agency is. It's a
oh,
Gen
okay.
Z-based agency, which is fine. I mean, I love Gen Z. You guys are the best. You're super creative, usually, and I get it. Like I I I want to cry, but apparently the estimation is like they got paid like $127,000 or something like that for this rebrand. I know, right?
We need to like work on our prices apparently. Like
I definitely do need to, yeah. Like imposter syndrome who I mean that's not confirmed, but that's the rumor that it is yeah. So where do you want to begin? Because yeah,
but because
I
like this
had
is just gonna become like a thing. Look, let's see. What about their they said like okay, they've done it properly,
Chris's
like
had
according to them,
Chris's
right? Like
made
it's like, oh,
a great point. Are you reading that?
wait,
That's exactly right. Chris says, I always wonder why brands produce things for Gen Z when they have no purchase power. So,
yeah.
okay, apparently, this is where I'm here. I haven't really done my research on this, but apparently, what they're saying is basically they are. okay with losing up to, I think the estimation is like they're gonna keep like 10% of their current user base, and they're okay with that, and they're going after um, like new generations with money. So I'm thinking, okay, so that means that you're after people that are basically new money people, right? But the thing is, even Gen Z, even new money, they want old money. You know, the whole reason why they're buying this very legendary brands is because they want to look the part. Why are you going to be like
Like,
made in
okay,
2024 when you've been around for so long?
there are so many other ways to do this without losing that entire audience that's been built up over decades from like Jaguar, right? Like make like a sub brand or like create like a little like a secondary brand to it,
Make a
right?
campaign that's specific to that audience. I mean, use the same old school vibe, but
Yeah.
present the new lifestyle.
I mean, look, it, if it's a campaign like that and everything else is representing the old brand, it's going to be hella confusing because this goes in a completely different direction, right? Like it loses, it's almost like it's the original brand is like masculine, it's old school, it's elegant, it's got that kind of energy to it, right? Versus this one where I'm not even sure what it is that the message that they're trying to put in there. Like if you look at the video, the end of it is like just them stepping away from a rock. And I'm like, are you trying to say like a jaguar is a rock?
I
What?
mean, did you see the comments on the on Twitter's feed?
I did
It was
not.
wild. It
Oh,
was
oh
it
God.
was wild. It was as per usual. I mean, as you can expect from Twitter, people were like very angry about it. Um, I mean, apparently they're gonna launch like a new design for a car or whatever. But do you really need to change everything to just?
No. They just burnt down. Like they burnt down the brand. Like it's okay. This is not the same sort of thing, but to me, like it is having that similar sort of vibe as like the Twitter to X, right? Like
Yes, I just said
because
Twitter because I cannot make myself say X. That's just weird. X is the symbol that you click on to close a window. Like, why would you want your brand to be named? Oh, by the way, I just learned the other day,
yeah.
Elon Musk, he has a bunch of pictures like jumping with his arms open. Apparently, the reason for those pictures is because he's trying to make connects with his body to promote the brand.
Okay. I did not know that he's starting to do like a Twitter, like a not Twitter, TikTok. Like he's like, yeah, let's make Twitter into TikTok.
I know. I'm
I,
about to have a stroke. It's disturbing. Greg said Porsche dealerships are celebrating today. They definitely are. I mean, I just don't understand.
just put like the signs out front. We're just going to be closed indefinitely. I'm sorry.
Bye. We need a break. I mean, I would love to see. I would love for the agency to release, at least for the design community, their thought process.
I, according to the article, right? Like the brand wants to be seen as exuberant, modernist, compelling, and about fearless creativity. I have an issue with the word modernist. What the fuck does that even mean?
Indeed,
Like,
my friend.
what?
Indeed.
It's not a thing. It is not a thing. It's what, looking clean? Look, modern, like a modern vibe is like something that someone 10 years ago or 20 years ago, I want to look modern now. Okay, yes, you want to blend in, cool.
I mean, unless you're gonna design a car that is gonna look like is a freaking spaceship, and then you're gonna leave behind all of your freaking legacy because that's a legacy brand, which still makes no sense to me. But if that's what you want to do with your money, that's on you. That's your business. I don't give a fuck. But
yeah. But there's enough out there already trying to go into like that futuristic car vibe.
but why?
Like, why join that?
It's like, I mean, I don't know. I'm so sad.
This is us, like this live is just us going.
It's I've had this conversation like 3 times today already. I've had it on text messages, and I was like, I'm going to screenshot all of this because it's just infuriating. Like, even if you have a valid thought process behind the rebrand and it sort of makes sense for what the brand wants in the future, well, I'm glad that they are okay with the fact that they know they're going to lose about 90% of their user base, because that's exactly what is going to happen. I mean, and the new people, the values that you're giving with this just appearance of the new brand is not giving high quality, is not giving, we have centuries basically of experience doing this, and this car is freaking amazing, the best thing that you can get. It's giving maybe was made in China and like it's a fast delivery. I mean,
okay, but the thing is, right, like they have broken the cardinal rule of like any kind of rebranding, reposition, whatever, right? Like the point is those values that you come in with, like there's something that you need to stick with from the start to the end, right? Like that is the essence.
Yeah. They should have just closed their doors and be like, we're not going to work anymore, as you said. We're not going to produce any new cars. You can do whatever you want with the existing ones. Bye. And then suddenly this new brand appears and it has a similar name, but it has a totally new vibe, and that's it. If you're going to lose 90% of your user base, then what's the point of just rebrand? Why not create something new? I mean,
like, again, the logic behind being okay with losing 90% of your audience. Like, what is the purpose?
And besides, like, okay, you're going after new money. I get it. Influencers are managing a lot of money right now. Gen Z is managing a lot of money right now, especially in the US. I get it. Cool. Good for you. Why not sell them on what makes you you? I mean, people have been looking up to you for decades. Why not lean on that a little bit more and sell the new lifestyle? Sell the the photo shoots in the middle of the road, because that's kind of cool, and sell the views and sell the landscapes and send. But like, I can't. I just cannot. I cannot deal with this.
Okay, but like, going back into this that they're going with like old money, or they're just going with like the money, right? Jaguar in the first place was never considered that like high end, that exclusive. Like that's what I would perceive as like a Bentley, right?
Yeah.
And Jaguar was never at that, even at its like best, right? It wasn't considered at that level. And now they're trying to elevate it by what?
You cannot elevate a brand to that.
And by doing it in that way, it's like going away from the legacy, because the legacy is what people trust, right? Like some VCs have been in business for 10 years, 20 years, etc. They're like, oh shit, like, that gives some legitimacy.
Exactly. I just saw a restaurant in my city, and it has a sign outside that says open since 2024. I'm like, okay, so you opened that yesterday. What's the point of having this on your sign? What are you doing? But even if we go, I swear to God, I'm going to send you a picture later. But even if we go even more to the technical side, besides the vibe of the brand that's really off and makes no sense, if you're gonna lose 90% of your customer base, is have you taken a look at the actual logo, the new one? Did you see the typography, the kerning,
I have.
the sizing of the letters?
I don't know what's going on, but did you see the new Nokia one?
No, I did not. Wait, let me find it.
Like brands are
What
just
did they
losing
do?
their freaking minds right now. Okay, this is a great time
Oh
for
no,
new
they went for the
brands.
Kia vibes.
They were like, let's go with modern. And do you know why?
Well, do you remember what happened with the new Kia logo when they launched it a few years ago?
The Is this not the new new one, or is this like an older new one?
The Kia was, I think,
Oh,
2
Kia.
years ago. Kia, yeah.
Oh, is
Do
Kia
you
like
remember what
Nokia?
happened? It was not legible, the car's brand. People thought it was a new brand in the market that it was KN.
Yeah, it looks like a Chinese brand. Like it really does. Like a
Exactly. And
random.
people were starting, like, it was the day that they changed the thing, and there were a lot of cars going around in the US. That was one of the most searched words. What brand of cars is KN? And they
Oh,
had to clarify. If you have to
and Nokia
explain,
now. Seriously?
it's the same vibe.
Hi.
If it's the same vibe. If you have to explain it, like with the Jaguar thing, if you have to explain your thought process to justify your design decisions, I mean, the broader audience, they're not going to read that. We're going to read it because we're designers and we are intrigued by why the fuck did you do this? But people, they're just going to get the vibe. And if the vibe is not vibing, then
It's just
we have a problem.
blending in. Like now all these logos are trying to do like this very minimalist sort of vibe.
Oh.
And I know like people like whoever is following me on LinkedIn know that I have an issue with like minimal like super minimalist, right? Like
I love minimalist. That's my vibe. But also, it fits into a specific type of business. It's not for everyone.
exactly. Like there's something that's for everyone. And to me, like that you just mentioned Kia was like shit. Like now everyone's just trying to do like similar type of like just super like maybe just one line. Like all the logos just gonna be like one line. This is our
It's
logo.
just,
Can you tell the difference?
it's like the HP lines thing. But I don't know, get lately I've been seeing a lot of designs. I'm sorry, I'm looking this way because I'm actually searching for the new logo. I didn't see the, did you see the,
See you
they
here.
created a new, like the, what is it called? The little stamp that they put on the car that is not going to be the cat anymore, I guess. It's just a J on the top and a J on the bottom, I guess.
Wait,
It looks like you
is this
paid
like a
a Fiverr
completely
designer $5 to do this. I'm
I
not
feel like any of these like just they're new. Oh,
Please tell me you're seeing it.
Jaguar Land Rover, right?
This is painful. Also, I'm seeing a lot, but way too many brands lately going for a typography that looks like popping.
Like
And actually,
hobbits?
poppings. I can you imagine? Do you know what the typeface is? Poppings is like that A that's rounded. I love the rounded
Oh,
A,
yes. Yes,
but
yes, yes,
why?
yes.
I mean, why on everything? Like the titles on the Jaguar ad, like besides the logo, they have this typeface that I'm pretty sure I used for a project like 4 years ago when I was trying to create something that was futuristic. It was actually for like a robotics company. And it fitted perfectly because it was a robotics related company. This has nothing to do with high quality cars. What the fuck is happening?
I feel like they're almost trying to go into like fashion, like that sort of thing, but they're not. It is too big of a disconnect between that, and especially for such a brand like that's well established. Like I said, going back to what I said before, instead of just changing the original company, either create like a sub brand or something like along those
Or
lines.
create like a line. Brands do it all the time. Create a special line that's for exclusively for Gen Z or babies or whatever, and that line has a different, like a variation of your name, and then a totally different brand. But it's a line. It's not your core brand.
Yeah. Yeah. So same thing, sub brand or line, like just don't just get rid of all of the decades of work that you've just done for whatever that was supposed to be.
It's so sad. And the spacing between the G, the U, and the A, it's gonna give me nightmares tonight. Like, do you see how the U and the A are like have a little? It looks. I know it's a visual thing. It's not technical, but like it looks like it's a little bit more separated than the other two, and the U is a little bit too high. It needs to be just like 2 pixels lower, and just I don't know. And the J is just
annoys me. The R at the end. I'm just like, are you just like, is this like an umbrella? Like, I mean, I know in the UK it rains a lot, and this is probably a little ode to,
But you see, that's why like they made it so they could be able to use the J and that R, which is the same J but turned around for the little. How do you call that thing? With
the thing in the
like,
at the front of the cars. Yeah,
exactly. Something like that. Whatever, that thing. That's what they did it. They did it to be able to sort of reflect it. But then, I mean, a J technically is not an R. So they're not supposed to have the same shape. They're not supposed to have the same ankles. They're not supposed to have the same height.
Yeah, I mean that's just getting into like the technical of like the visuals. Yes, and again, like what really counts is that essence, right, of the brand, right? Otherwise, the visuals, it only goes so far, right? Because as soon as somebody, say for example, somebody buys one of these new version Jaguars, like, is it going to be like the experience is going to be exactly the same? Because then what's the point? What's like?
I mean, it shouldn't be the same. Not only the designs need to be different, but because the old car design do not match this new brand. So it might have the same name, but it is totally a different brand.
Right.
It's
pink.
That pink color. How in God's name is that pink related to even remotely anything that relates to this type of brand?
They were just like, they were our old audience. Fuck you guys. Let's do everything opposite.
That's one of the things that we were talking about today. Someone was telling me, well, a couple of people actually told me that they're going to back down. They're going to just reverse it. And I was like, they're not going to do it because this is not offensive to a specific demographic or anyone in the world. I mean, it is to me, but offensive that would make them go back. It's not. And I'm pretty sure this agency already told them, hey, we're going to experience some backlash with what we're trying to do, but we're trying to disrupt the market. So we need to hang in there. And they're going to wait it out. And people are just going to forget about it. And then the brand is going to,
disappear. No, but the thing is, right, like, it is not necessarily about offense, right? Like, it is more about those values being held by the brand. And that's why, like I said, that like the first thing up front, right? The values at the beginning and now they're no longer the same according
Totally
to
different. Totally
them,
different
right?
story. It's a
So
totally different story, which I get, but again, what's the point?
if you think about like brands like Gap, they tried to do a rebrand and like there was a massive backlash because like similar to this, right? Like this is probably going to be worse because it is just way, way worse. Like,
But that's
anyway,
what happens when they don't expect to lose 90% of their customer base. They think it's going to be better. Like they might experience some backlash, but not that big. But these people, they already said they're not saying that's a problem. They're not saying we're okay with losing our 90% of our customer base. They're saying, I don't give a fuck about my current client. That's what
exactly,
they're saying.
which is just I don't like. There's no logic in that move.
It
Like you wouldn't purposely cull 90% of your audience.
I literally want to cry. Like why?
Especially,
Why would you just
if you have loyal buyers, right? Like those are the ones that you want to like, hey, like what can we do to make you happier to like
I
continue
mean, you need
with
to
us?
keep the clients that you already have, and then you need to increase that client base. Where
Exactly. And this is
if
not
that
doing
is with a new design of a car or a new product or whatever that, or a new process within your client process, onboarding, whatever the fuck, that's fine.
that.
But you cannot lose your current base. I mean, you're if you're doing it for money, you're literally burning money. You're leaving so much on the table. You're losing your loyal clients, as you said. People who have been in love with the brand that maybe even had a car that was from their grandparents. Oh, sweetie, I'm so sorry.
Oh, because your dad's gonna be like, I need to get rid of it. It's sad. Or
Totally
it's
so
too
bad.
late. It's too late. Like the stock's probably already crashed. I am curious to see like how the stocks of
Oh, that's
Jaguar have. Are
a question. We need to
you looking them
research.
up?
I'm literally looking it up right now.
Stocks.
Stock price. Let's see what's happening.
It's like nosedive. Did you find
Took a
it?
little bit of a dip. Yes, just a little bit. No, wait.
Yeah,
This is from when?
maybe it hasn't fully gotten
Oh my
out
God.
yet.
It, it
Okay, but
took,
this is like one
this,
day. So let's see 1 year.
well, it's been going down for a while. So
Yeah.
maybe that's why they're going crazy.
I wonder what happened between May and July that caused this. Because like
Cool,
their stock prices were up for a while, right? And then suddenly something happened and it's just like, never
they
mind.
probably hired this company to do another ad, and um,
And now they haven't figured it out, so they're gonna like double down on their positioning.
honestly, this is wild. News
In
prices.
1 year, they've lost 95% of the like their performance.
I have so many tabs open right now. Let's see.
Same. We're not.
News May
Let's not go
20.
into that. Uh, but yeah, positioning wise, that like, and I know we were like going to go into this conversation before we saw this news about positioning. These guys, like they could have done like mini adaptations to maybe not necessarily go to like Gen Z, but like millennials or the
If they want to
millennials
go
or
after Gen Z and influencer vibes, that's fine. But there's a way of going about it that doesn't have to vary your life's work. Like generations
a
have
lot
had
of
this.
collaborations. That is an easy way to get like the brand refreshed to, say for example, the younger generation.
Yeah.
There's like maybe celebrities or influencers or that sort of thing, like that have the similar sort of values
Yes.
or similar sort of like vibe that you have, like, or that they've had for a long time. And therefore it becomes like relevant. Like it continues being relevant and you can adapt to like, hey, so what of our core values are still resonating with this fresh generation, right?
Maybe they
How
have no
can we
values anymore.
they're not that's the thing. I mean, like so many companies don't spend the time to do that market research and just check in like, hey, like even with your own audience, see what they're talking about like in Reddit, see what they're talking about on like another app.
Well, it does look like they did the research and they don't care. And that's the difference. And they're okay. Well, not only they don't care, it looks like they did the research and they are okay with going in this direction, which honestly, you have my respect because if you're willing to throw in the trash so many years of a brand existing in the world and earning its place,
It's
then you have a huge pair of ovaries to deal with this because I would be freaking out. I mean, that's that's the dream, to build a brand that has the respect that people have for it, the standards that you just name. You just see the little cat and you know what you're talking about. You recognize the sound of the engine that's part of the brand, and you're willing to throw that away.
and see like on
That's
here,
fine.
right? Like their original brand, like they define their brand: grace, space, and pace, right? Like those are the things that they had back then. There are adaptations. There are ways that these base elements can be adapted to now, right? Without losing that essence. I don't know if we need to like completely pick another like brand here because like they basically they're fucked. But like assuming that like
But they're okay with it. So with that, I do
assuming
respect. Then
exactly.
I mean, according to the what they've said on Twitter and who's Chris, feels like the Will Smith slap from the Oscars. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. It feels like they're taking a like a desperate approach to gaining people's attention instead of just earning it. I mean, what did you do in the beginning of the brand to exactly 60 years of racing history thrown away too? What did you do in the beginning to earn people's respect? How do you position the sound of that engine as a recognizable part of your brand and go back to that instead of
They could just okay, going back into like this minimalist idea, yeah? That sound of the engine. They could just base it on that, right? Because now a lot of people are talking about what's that? Like the scratching and the tapping, like
ASMR.
ASMR. That lean into that idea,
There's
right? Because that's what.
so many channels on TikTok doing that. I mean,
But it's engine noise. I've seen like a lot of cars. They're talking like about opening the car door and then like touching and scratching all the little leather bits and pieces or whatever, right? Like there are ways to keep this core, like using ASMR, using that sound, using um the other senses, right? Like pairing
here's
up
the
with
thing.
yeah.
When your brand is crashing, which apparently it was from the stock prices that we were just looking at, um, your brand is crashing. Even if your brand, let's take it to our usual clients, right? Small businesses
Mm-hmm.
or medium-sized businesses. Your brand is crashing. You can see it. You can see it in your sales. You need to do something, and you have a feeling that a rebrand is the way to go. First, contact an expert, do some research, and you need to really consider the result of those results, because I mean those numbers tell a lot of stories. And if it's saying, if we go in this direction, modern, sleek, wonderful, bright pink, we're gonna lose most of our customer base. If you're
So,
already crashing.
I have an opinion about that, and I feel like you're gonna hate me, but I don't think that brands should easily go to rebrand. And that's actually what I'm going to be talking about this Friday in the newsletter. It's reposition
100%.
might
I agree
be
with
the
you.
better option.
Yes, I agree with you all the time. And it's funny because people usually come to me and say, I want a rebrand. And I'm like, why? And then they're confused because, like, why are you not selling me on a rebrand or a redesign of my website if that's what you do and that's what I'm saying that I want? And I'm like, but it might not be the best for your brand.
Yeah, especially if you've built up an audience like Jaguar has done. They've built up an audience and they're going to lose 90% of it. So it's the same thing. As soon as you have, and it's easier for businesses, like say, for example, you've just started up, you're in your first like year or two, etc. Fine, rebrand then. Like, because anyway, you're figuring your shit out at that time. But after that, once people start getting to know you for a certain like vibe, certain element, voice, message, like there's something that they like about you, you
Or just they
see
recognize it. They just
exactly.
recognize. It happened with me the other day. I haven't used Copy AI for a while, and I just went on their website. And as soon as I went on the website, I was like, oh no, I'm in the wrong website. I closed the tab, opened it again. You know how distracted I am all the time. I opened it again. I'm like, no, what am I doing? Why am I in the wrong website? And then I realized they changed their entire brand, the visual brand. They changed their colors. It used to be like a minty green, and now it's like a bright blue. And I was like, I'm not in the right place. And then it took me a while to understand what the fuck is happening.
Yes,
I literally went
exactly.
to ChatGPT instead of staying there.
That's the thing. Like you are going to lose the trust, even if it's like just the visuals, right? Like you will lose trust.
I
And
mean, but again, if you are presented with this research and you are presented with the two potential options, either we polish what we have, we reposition, and then we go stronger with our core, and we, I don't know, give more to our current client base, and we grow from there. That's going to be slower but steady. Or we fuck everything up, we rebrand hard, we change everything. We need to be okay with the fact that basically we're going to start from zero,
yeah,
and then see what happens. And if, like, whatever you choose is fine, but it's important that you have those results in mind, you're aware of the consequences, and you act accordingly. You're not going to freak out 3 days later and be like, no, this is not what I wanted, blah, blah, blah. People are talking about it online. No, just man up and deal with it.
exactly. Or like if you've done it intentionally just to get people to talk about it, like make sure you double down on it, right?
Yeah.
Like if you want to change it from like a completely bland beige brand, right? And just rebrand it, like rebrand the values, etc., so that it is fresh, it is like vibey, etc. Two options: do it like incrementally, so people
Mhm.
like they don't really notice as much. But like if you look at like a year behind and a year later, it will be completely different. Or lean into that extreme, right? Talk about it, like go on, plan a lot of like social activities like speaking gigs, etc., like whatever it may be as outward about it
Mm-hmm.
afterwards to double down. Like, hey,
Which
same as like a restaurant opening.
I do kind of feel like this is what they are trying to do with this. They double down on this extreme idea. I
Mhm.
think they were like, fuck this. I mean, we're going down anyway. We might as well go down swinging and
Mhm.
give it a go. And this is probably, of course, going to spike a lot of conversation about it. There's going to be a lot of social media content created around it. It's going to put the brand in front of Gen Z on every single platform there is, which is what they want. They want to be in front of this new audience.
Exactly.
But does that mean that this audience is going to buy?
That's the thing, right? Because I'm sure like that audience will still have some idea of what the old brand was like, right? Like, okay, the thing is, if they had have gone like with this rebrand and they structured it out properly, like, okay, the message actually says something that resonates with Gen Z instead of whatever fluff that was, like for that ad, right? Like that was their like coming out, and they were consistent with that. Yeah, like then it's like visual matching up with messaging, matching up with like the core, matching up like everything matches, and
I'm
then yeah,
curious. I'm very curious to see how they're going to match the product to the brand.
like I said, it's gonna be like a bright
Like,
pink.
yeah, they're probably gonna do like a line of like rainbow color cars or something, which is like fine, but like,
Oh,
don't you offer like custom painting so people can choose whatever color they want? Why would you? What?
it's gonna be like
Why?
Apple, right? Or like a phone. You can, hey, so I can get it in like pink and green and blue. Which one do I want? And like which little bits do I want inside?
And that's another a totally different story. Like you're used to having that small recognition of brand with Apple. It's a little Apple on your all of your devices, right? So you walk around, people know you have an Apple. You are part of this community. I don't, but whatever. But on this car, people were used to the cat. You see the freaking cat anywhere, and that is part of this brand. Now, when they see the J with the R, what is this? They're gonna Google it like Kia, like what is this brand with a J and an R that looks like it was made in China and like is a sister company from Shane.
It loses its essence. Like I do feel like brands, say for example, Louis Vuitton, etc. If they change their logo now, they would essentially be destroying their brand, right? Because it's
100.
so much of built essence to that style, to that design. Like sure, like refresh some parts of it, but like the essence should always be there, and that
Don't get me
essence is
started
gone.
on fashion brands and their brands because it's so disturbing. I was doing research the other day and I looked up all of the the high-end designer brands. They're all exactly the same. Capital letters, serif fonts for logos, and then sans serif for the websites. Everything is black and white. Schiaparelli particularly, I was extremely disappointed of because their brand, their products are so cool. They have so much personality, and their website is like,
Like all the websites look pretty much the same these days for those kind of brands.
it.
So
So
it
anyway,
really
I
stands
actually took
out.
a course from LVMH, the Louis Vuitton. They have like a huge company that owns a bunch of other companies. I took a course on luxury brands, and you should have seen the PowerPoint.
Tell me
I
what
cannot even.
happened.
I cannot even. It's this dusty blue color that's disgusting. It has nothing to do with any of the brands that are inside of the thing. They're using, I'm pretty sure it was poppings for titles and for text. You cannot read poppings on text, but they had it.
And
They're
it's
they
just,
were
it's, I mean, I understand that they don't need to change those things, but it would be nice that they would put a little bit of an effort on the brands that so many people love and that are known for their high quality. I mean, I say this to my clients all the time. If imagine you're showing up to a very important meeting with a potential client and you are wearing flip-flops, a jean, and like a tank top, and your hair is dirty. Would you do that?
I mean, no, who would, right? Like that would be
Why?
again.
Exactly.
It's just
Why would you
destroying me.
present your brand in that way with that crusty, old, disgusting vibe when you should just clean it up a little bit within your means? I'm not saying go crazy and pay $127,000 for a rebrand, but I mean, add some love, just a
Add
little
some,
bit of love.
yeah, like make it its own little style. Like don't get rid of that essence. Do you know what I mean? Like there is that essence there. Like say for example, we're looking at like LVMH, right? They're like their overall corporate style has gone like super modern and everything. And same thing is like if we go into like Louis, I would have like just offend a lot of French people here, but like Louis
That's fine.
Vuitton. um, anyways, but like even there, like the fun and everything, like it's gone modern, even though the essence is still there. So it's like kind of a disconnect almost. Because it's like, oh, we're
Yeah,
trying to be modern, but like, you know, like they're still calling their brands, which I freaking love. Like they got their sub brands, which are like Masons, and I'm like,
yeah.
oh, like that is it fits in with the overall brand, like tone, with like their direction and like that elegance that
And if you
comes with that brand.
talk to the people involved in those companies, they are so passionate about what they're doing. They really
Yeah,
see it as art, and that's what they're trying to put it outside to the world. And that's the kind of quality that they want to give. And you can just see it, you can feel it. It's part of it.
like I've
With,
seen not Louis Vuitton, but like Dior. They've had interviews, say for example, with like their artisans, and
yeah,
they're explaining how even if it's not in English, right? Like in what they're Italian or French, etc. But like the
which
passion
makes it better that is
comes
in
out. Like
their
you connecting.
local language.
Exactly. You're connecting to that brand and you're connecting to that essence. And I saw today somebody shared a post by M. Leon Dore,
Hmm.
and it is that guy's like I believe it's the founder, right? Like he's talking about his brand and the conception about his family, and it just exudes that like elegance, that um refinement,
Craftsmanship.
craftsmanship. Like I just sent you on like Instagram just now, like that link, and it is incredible. Like you're connecting to that story. So again,
Oh,
2025 storytelling,
that's
nostalgia.
gorgeous. The visual, look at that.
Mhm. Like
That's
the
perfect.
statement. It's a freaking
The little
statement.
coffee shop, the little coffee
Yeah,
thingy, coffee maker, and the that looks like it's been used a lot. Like it's that
like an
1940s
heirloom.
vibe.
It's like an heirloom, and it's like
It is.
it shows that heritage, which
Yeah.
now all these other brands are trying to shirk for some reason. Like Jaguar, they're trying to shirk it. Like LVMH, like why try to shirk something which actually helps you connect with people? Like even Gen Z, Gen Alpha, they're curious about like these things that people from the late 1900s brought.
Excuse you.
Yeah, I know. I don't even want to
Don't get
think of
offensive
it.
now.
I'm just like, whatever. But look, like that is more inclined to get
Yeah.
them to buy
Yeah.
than being like, oh, we're pink and fluffy and like here's some clouds and we're inclusive.
It feels fake, and that's something that I always also tell my clients. They're like, "Oh, I see this trend here, and I see that trend there, and this color is trending," and like,
Stop.
okay, cool, but are you gonna change your products and your services as fast as those trends are going by? Because we live in a fast fashion world, in a very fast, trendy world.
Yeah.
Things are gonna change every single day. Are you ready to deal with that and basically start and build a brand from scratch every day? Or are you willing to take a deep look down and see who you are as a brand, who is your ideal audience, and how we're going to communicate and connect both of them so you can actually build something that lasts and that can
Yeah,
support you throughout the time?
exactly. That is a key, and that's the approach. If you want to make sure that your brand is being remembered and memorable and like standing out against others, it is going back inwards rather than looking at what anybody else is doing, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's easy
I have a
to get distracted and be like, this is what they want. You don't know what they want. It doesn't matter what they want. It matters what you have to offer.
I mean,
Let's say if you
there's
were going to create like a dating app profile and just fill out the bio and all of the things based on what everyone else is looking for. That makes no sense.
yeah, so like that's the thing that a lot of artists have already been talking about for a long time, and that's something that we can bring into business, as in looking at the creative or like that art that is what you're doing. Because what like a business is art to me.
It is.
It's art, not science, right?
You're creating something from scratch.
You create, well, it might not be from scratch. It might be like different elements put together
But it
because
is
to
from
me,
scratch. I mean, you can grab the same ingredients that you would use for a normal cake to create something totally different, a new recipe. It's still
yeah,
something new. It's still something that you're creating from scratch.
exactly. And that is an art. So that
It
means
is.
like it is looking and, going down that rabbit hole of like, hey, so what are our values? What are our goals? How do we want to achieve those goals in what we're doing? Like,
And what are we willing to do for it? I mean, with this whole Jaguar thing, I just feel like they are being very disrespecting with the current client base. I mean, I'm sure Krista is suffering today. I mean, why? I do. I'm looking forward to seeing how
yeah, Chris,
they
maybe
move
like make sure your
forward.
dad doesn't see this ad.
Maybe not. I'm looking forward to see how they're gonna try to match their product with their brand and see how things are gonna evolve. Because honestly, they just need to burn all the previous cars and start over. But I mean, it sounds like a challenge. I'm curious. I'm open to see what they might do. I wanna have a little bit of hope that they're gonna turn it around. I want to believe.
Here's hoping. I mean, like, do we know when they're dropping these said cars, fresh cars? Because like
I
they obviously have a plan, right? Like, if they're working with an
hopefully.
agency, they have like okay, we're gonna drop this, get people riled up, and then like they would have to be some kind of timeline with like dropping the cars, said cars.
For what I can see right now is just a teaser, and the name of the brand is Copy Nothing.
They're
What's
changing
happening?
to electric only.
Oh, wait, December 3rd. Here it is. I'm,
Electric
I'm
only
literally not.
2000. 2026, like why even bother? Seriously.
2026. What?
Yeah,
No, December 3rd, 2024. It says we're
2024.
to innovate, to dare, to copy nothing. December 3rd, 2024.
Okay, but
Okay, their
I'm
website
reading.
is wrong, Katie, because let me
Wait,
I'm
wait.
showing you a screenshot right now. This is insane.
Okay, but the British vehicle maker owned by Tata Motors will launch 3 new electric cars in 2026.
Okay, the new electric cars are maybe being launched in 2026, but this campaign, the new campaign, the copy nothing crop thing that we're seeing today, it says December 3rd, 2024. So whatever it is that they're launching,
Like a
they
version.
have 2 weeks to do
Electric,
this.
electric. I mean,
And the
it's
whole point is
not
the
enough.
noise. I mean, I want the engine thingy.
Me too. Like, I feel like electric is just becoming too much of a thing. And I get it, like, petrol prices are going up. But isn't there some kind of, like, essence? You know,
Yeah,
the same thing as, like, an old brand, right? Like, to drive a car that, like, is it's running
it's a
on
classic.
petrol. It has an engine and, like,
It's a
yeah, a
classic. I
petrol.
mean, you can improve on existing technology to make it environmentally friendly. There are
Yeah.
ways to go about it. There's no way, there's no need to go electric. I mean, you can go electric all you want, but you need to know where is electricity being sourced from and then see what happens. Because if you're burning coal to be able to get electricity, then it's the same shit. And you're just greenwashing your brand. So, and you don't have a way of guaranteeing that the electricity that those cars are going to consume is actually sustainable. So
Yeah.
you're greenwashing. That's what you're doing. And it pisses me off.
Seriously. And yeah, like they've mentioned in September, they're like completely discontinuing all their cars. And it's just like,
They are what?
yeah, in September, I just saw this article. I don't know where it's is Jaguar
Oh,
business standards.
they're
No
going
way.
crazy with this strategy because that means that prices of these cars are going to go crazy.
I mean, no, because right, like if they're discontinuing
Collectible.
that and the service for that,
No
right?
idea.
Like so imagine like trying to get the parts and everything for these
Probably.
cars.
I
We're
mean,
like, oh my God.
they if you're doing it for the money, if I were them, I would have had a bunch of cars in my garage and then just wait for this and then start selling them as collectibles because you're not never gonna like you have a specific amount of cars in the market that you can
Out.
find and then prices are gonna be insane. This is very This is a very interesting conversation. This was supposed to be 20 minutes, by the way, people. It's been an hour.
Yeah.
But I love you so much. Thank you for joining me. We could do this all day long, obviously.
Like the amount that we could break down like various kinds of brands and brand refreshes and especially
We should do
now
this
where like
on a weekly
everybody's trying
basis.
to be modern, fucking modern.
I really hate that. I really hate that. Honestly, we should do this every week. Just log in for an hour. Just vent
Yeah,
our
exactly.
hate for stupid rebrands and just
And how they
de-stress
can
a
like
little bit.
how they can instead of being stupid, what was the right thing that they probably should have done?
Instead of being stupid, don't be stupid.
It's a balance. We're venting and we're giving the value.
Advice. A little bit of advice, but mostly venting. Yes. Okay. So today's lesson is don't be stupid. And again, don't be stupid, please. Don't be offensive with your changes. Just we're gonna call it as we see it, and we're gonna tell you what you're doing wrong in your face. So stop it.
That's the brand. I mean, like at the end of the day, for both of our brands, like what you see is what you get, right?
I don't
And
know
a lot of
how to be someone else. So
yeah, a lot of the times when people are trying to be up on social media, etc., it's like same as what we were talking about, like for these big brands, they're looking to like, oh, everyone's trying to like, be energy efficient, or they're trying to be inclusive, or they're trying to be modern. Let's do that as well. And the same thing applies, like, when, you're approaching social media, it's like, instead of looking at like, oh, they're doing this, or this is the hook lines that like, these are the 10 hook lines that always work, or this is how like I got my business to $1 million. Like,
get
if
100K in 10 days. Yeah, sure. That's how the world works. Honestly, yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know if this session helped me to vent or it helped me to get angrier than I already was. But but I loved it. I loved it so much. Thank you for joining me again. We need
thank you for
to
having me.
go for coffee one of these days, please. I miss you. Um, yeah,
This is how we communicate now over lives, even
this
though we're
is
in the exact same city.
what
It's totally fine.
it's fine. Let me take a huge trip to go visit you, and then we can hang out. Yeah, and we can make a lot of more of these videos and complain a little bit more.
We should have like a studio thing, like a
Yeah,
some
game on.
studio.
Let's do it. Whenever you want to, whatever you want to, I'm game.
Damn, let's do this. Fuck yeah.
Amazing. Love it. Okay. Talk to you soon. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll tag you on the thing. Bye, people. Thank you for joining.
Thank you.